Hey guys, it's been a real while, perhaps a year. I don't know, I'll have to look at the last video I posted, but anyhow, got my fourth pair of Vertex Alpine. Nice pretty red pair, although that won't exactly be visible once I put the tough toe on it, but I've got the process really down to a science and figured it would be worthwhile to make another video to kind of go over things I've already talked about, but just kind of some tips and tricks to make the process easier. Another problem why this is sticking out, to really solve the shoelace bite, and to really make this painless, because my first two pair, even that second pair, I remember it was kind of hell the first up to about 300 miles before I really broke them in. Not so with my third pair. By the time I got my third pair, it was pretty much pure heaven. There is one, I don't even want to say problem, more of a quirk that's kind of annoying that I'll talk about. It's very relevant. I did point it out in another video, so I won't dwell on it. But first and foremost, one of the things people are probably wondering, bang for the buck, really, really impressive. My third pair here, over 800 miles. I'll have to add it up for you guys exactly, but I know when I had added it up, I figured, I'm getting close. I was like, oh shit. End of May, beginning of June of this year, I had well over 600, and the last time I added it up exactly, I was 680 something. And since then, I took a 12-day trip where I put on, it was over 11 miles, maybe even over 12 miles a day. So you can do the math there. And then since then, I took a couple daily walks in these shoes because the cushion is a little shot in these. So I attribute that to something very logical. I was having some blood sugar issues all my life, and new remedy corrected that. So the long and short of things are, when I was about halfway through this third pair, about 15 pounds lighter, and it's already saved me over 100 miles, because it would be around 700 ideally that I'd retire these. For those of you laughing at the white splotch, not so funny, they're for a reason. When this pair wore out, I got my second pair, and given the similar color like an idiot, I had somehow grabbed, I think it was the new left shoe and the right old shoe. So that little white splotch prevents that from happening. And then the third pair, it's got the gray tongue versus the blue. So anyhow, I'm right at the perfect spot for kind of explaining what's worked as a really good sequence. And it was funny, I'm kind of like half asleep and I got these and I'm like, what the hell? I was trying to stick my hand in, because one of the important things that I've noticed, unless you've got a pretty tough pair of shoe like the Butora Musai, this is pretty tough to begin with, but I just wanted to toughen up this suede. This suede normally doesn't cave down on your foot. This does. That's what I've been saying about the toe pinching and why I, luckily with the design of this shoe, you can stuff it. It kind of creates that bulge to lift it up. It's not a matter of the shoes being too narrow. So unless you've got something that's real stiff, I found that with the tough toe, with a more flimsy, see how easy that's caving in? If you really kind of stuff it, it helps a little bit, not only kind of create a mini bulge, but the reverse effect of if I didn't stuff the shoe prior to putting the tough toe on, sometimes the tough toe could sink down and it kind of creates an extra inward bulge because the material is just so light. So for those thinking of applying the tough toe, that's just an extra tip and trick. But the very first thing I do, unlace these. Tweezers are highly recommended. They're a pain in the ass to lace up, but I do that to get a very precise cut. And I don't really think it matters on the, I'll demonstrate on these. I tried not to cut into the, try to get it to focus. There's kind of an extra seam, and I kind of cut into that. It really didn't make a difference. Obviously, the amount of mileage I put on, my tweaks held up. So I do that first. Already cut these. Second step would be to stuff them. And as you can see, I have this here just for demonstration purposes of all the tweaks I do. I save this part, meaning adding the padding, as I explained before. Things you may not have to do if you don't have to buy a size bigger to get these damn things to fit. But I save the padding till the very end, meaning I'll apply the tough toe. I often do, ideally like to give it several days, although I have gone out, I think my earliest after applying it was 24 to 48 hours, but I do apply it a little thicker. I use about 1 pack per shoe. Now here, this is no fault of the Vertex Alpine, it's no fault of the tough toe. I kind of was playing around with a different technique of applying the tough toe, and I think, you know, it obviously wasn't the best, but still, that's pretty damn impressive. I've had other types of shoes where the tough toe just doesn't stick as well, where I've actually had to take the shoes to a cobbler or the sandpaper. That's a key step if you're doing the tough toe. You sandpaper the shoes. Basically, it scratches off the surface and it helps the tough toe stick better, but even doing that, they've had to actually use a machine to do that process. Luckily, the Vertex Alpine are not like that. So all in all, that's pretty damn minimal, given that these have over 800 miles. You can see these 2 pairs of shoes have about 750 miles. Actually, this one I think is up to 770, because I've done some walking in them. But regardless, you can see that's the extent of the tough toe coming off. So it's a pretty awesome product for those looking for the outer protection. Excuse me, haven't had enough water to drink today. And then as far as the padding's concerned, that's kind of same as always. These shoes demonstrate it really nicely, at least for the outer padding. A little dirty because these shoes are notorious for capturing the dirt. You can't see it in there, but for me personally, I use one of these butterfly bandages on the inside, and then I cut the Dr. Scholl's mole foam padding. And for the purpose of adding padding, I don't need to, in terms of getting like enough padding from the part that was rubbing my foot raw. It's strictly due to making the shoe fit. Like I said, these are a tiny bit on the long side. I had to do that because with the other modifications I make, they're too tight if I buy my normal size. So obviously that's worked for me. I mean, this is over 2,000 miles here. I think upwards of 2,300. Obviously that's worked for me. The big thing in between pairs 1, 2, and 3, especially with 3, I had these Dr. Scholl's inserts because I think I talked about that with the first couple pairs, and the shoe inserts kind of fell apart, and I thought, you know, this is pretty damn fine in terms of cushioning. And so I basically experimented with putting them right there. Eliminates the shoelace bite, absolutely eliminates it. And then a further enhancement, because this is really, for lack of a better way of saying it, really fucking uncomfortable. This material's not so bad, but this is just really itchy. This is a new phone. It's not the best at focusing it. That side material is just so itchy. So what I do, this is after getting the shoe on, I put it right like that. Oh, it's heaven. Absolute heaven. Longest hike in this third pair was at just over 24 miles, still completely comfortable. And then the thing I alluded to at the beginning, the only thing that I really haven't solved completely is the tendency for in between this built-in sock and this outer shell, just depending on the hike, depending on the location, obviously dirt, and even in a sandy area, stones will just get right in there and you'll fucking feel everything. So it's annoying, but I mean, hell, I actually pulled off with flying colors. No real dicey moments, no Hail Mary type of things. It was just pure skill and pure grippiness on the shoes, a class 4 Summit in this third pair. So it's worth the hassles. I mean, you can go the distance, they climb, they're just unbelievable. But that is a thing. And then as far as the padding to kind of create that bulge, as you can see, that I haven't found. Like, this is kind of my go-to for the shoelace bite. In terms of creating the bulge, it's really come down to whatever I have on hand. This is a fucking paper towel. On this one, I used like that. You can see, I don't want to take it out because I got it where I want it, but there we go. It's that shipping, kind of little piece of shipping foam I folded in half. these shoes, which had been good, it was really pressing. I had retired these and then just kind of brought them back to life to do when I go out in my neighborhood doing some walks. So I think that's just a plastic bag. Really, I found anything that's gonna kind of give you the proper bulge in terms of where you want the bulge to be based on your foot anatomy. Because again, it's not that the shoes are too narrow. You can see how that bulges up. This fucking material comes down on the top of your foot. Really makes life hell, but this bulge tactic has worked phenomenally. But yeah, like I said, unlike with this, which is my go-to recommendation, I think this is just a Dr. Scholl's, or no, it's either Dr. Scholl's or Superfeet. Off memory, I think it's Dr. Scholl's, but really any foam. I was actually using the mole foam padding, was pretty darn good, but this has just got it, oh my goodness, an extra layer of plushness to it. It's really just heaven. It completely eliminates the shoelace bite. So yeah, I'm about to sand the new ones and put the tough toe on, and then a couple days later, it doesn't have to be exact, I'll put, like I said, the butterfly bandage first with I do the narrow side down, and you can't even see it. That's how flush it fits. You can't even really see it. And then just kind of cut that size. I kind of reference my old shoes to see in terms of cutting this mole foam padding down to that size and put that in. And then I put the shoes on my feet, and then I kind of see, because there's kind of I found a slight variation. Typically with my feet, you can see that big bulge there. It's really the outer part of the foot. Only occasionally do I get kind of by the big toe area. But so I just have some paper towels, have some shipping foam. I got a lot of that on hand and kind of experiment with that as needed. That's a pretty quick process. And then these, just instead of trying to super glue or use the natural stickiness of the padding, it's just real easy. When I get them on, I put the shoe on first, and then I kind of wedge that under and tie them. It works out phenomenally. And then my only other tip or trick, I focused on it in another video, so I won't dwell on it. And unfortunately, I cleaned all of these, so there's nothing really to show here. But say you've had the shoes a while, or hell, depending on where you hike, it doesn't even have to be a while. Everything's feeling hunky-dory. You've got the bulge if needed. And then just suddenly, for me, it tends to build up right here, very less so in the toe area, but suddenly you're just like, what the fuck? You know, the shoe is pinching me. And you can see you've got the big bulge. That's not it. To this day, it never ceases to blow my mind. You'll have to take your padding out if you've put padding in there. And if you stick your finger in there, every single time without fail, when I've had that sensation of, hey, what's going on here? I've got my nice bulge and I'm still getting pinched, without fucking fail, it'll just be, I've never measured it, but if I had to guess, at least 1 to 2 ounces of dirt and debris. The rocks or pebbles are usually obvious because there'll be a sharp feel, but especially up in pine country where you've got the soft dirt, that's kind of misleading because it tends not to create a pressure sensation until you got a lot in there. So that's definitely kind of my biggest tip and trick. Once you've had the shoes, once you've done the modifications, and then just all of a sudden, like, what the fuck is wrong? I'm getting pinching here, or shouldn't they be more broken in? Well, chances are, check for that debris buildup, and I almost guarantee that's what's causing the problem. So hopefully this helps. Peace out.